What's going on, guys? Eddie Dowd back again with Brian Sachs. I'm a real estate agent. He's a mortgage lender, and we come to you every single week with another real estate tip because we want our viewers to be knowledgeable in real estate and build generational wealth through real estate. Today, we have a topic, the three letters that every American, I'd say, hates. I think it's safe to say hates. IRS. Had somebody recently ask me, "Hey, I owe the IRS. Can I buy a house? What is the process I need to go through buying a house?" And obviously, if you've lived and you've owed the IRS, there's different processes of owing the IRS, different stages, and depending on where you are, things could vary. But today we're going to dive into, hey, I owe the IRS. We're going to dive into that and how you can get into a home, how you can buy a home, from your position now to what you need to do to get to owning a home, with you currently owing the IRS. Brian?
All right. So thank you, Eddie. Um, well, yeah. So the IRS, yikes. Um, let me just, I guess, frame this by saying there's two different ways that you can deal with the IRS. And I think it's important for us to say Eddie's not an accountant. I'm not an accountant. We're not tax professionals. We're not lawyers. But we're going to talk to you as if on how these issues pertain to you getting a mortgage. There are two ways you can deal with the IRS. The first way is you can set up a payment plan with the IRS. So let's say somehow there was a $10,000 error that you made and you didn't withhold enough and you have a $10,000 deficit that you owe to the IRS.
Or a lot of folks are self-employed right now. You have a lot of folks that, weren't able to pay and they have a lump
Yeah.
sum that they weren't able to pay because of the economy and everything.
I hope that's not the IRS calling me right now.
Yeah.
That's some scary stuff. So, look, if you're self-employed, there are lots of folks that are self-employed and they didn't withhold, they made a profit, they didn't withhold the money. There's all sorts of things going on, right? But if you have a debt to the IRS and you know you owe it, you can call the IRS and you can set up a payment plan. They're not going to bite you, they're not going to shoot you, they're not going to put you in jail. If you have a deficit and you call them and you set up a payment plan with them, or you ask your tax advisor or accountant to do that on your behalf, which is the better way, by the way. They may agree to take $300 or $400 a month or $200 a month for a period of time, and that's okay. When it comes to a mortgage, that's totally fine. We need to see your agreement with the IRS and we need to see that you've made some payments. And as long as you've been making the payments and you have an agreement, all's good. We're going to count that as a debt against you. It doesn't go on your credit report. You don't have to wear a scarlet letter on your head that says you owe money to the IRS. It's just an agreement. You messed up and okay, and they worked it out with you. The other issue you could have with the IRS is where they have filed a lien against you. Eddie, I could punch you in the face right now, shoot you, and I'm innocent until I'm proven guilty in a court of law. Doesn't work that way with the IRS. With the IRS, you're guilty and you have to prove yourself innocent. It's kind of backwards, right? So, um,
Sounds un-American to me, but
well, I'm not even going to go
no,
there, but
isn't.
that's okay. All right. But it's a whole other video that would be 12 hours long. But if you have a lien with the IRS where they've actually garnished your wages or put a lien on you on your credit report, that absolutely affects your credit. And the IRS takes precedence over everything, including the mortgage. So if you own a house and you have an IRS lien, they can take the house. Mortgage comes second, right? They can empty your bank accounts. They can do all sorts of things if they feel they can put you in prison if they feel that you've evaded taxes knowingly. But if you have an IRS tax lien, we still might be able to help you. Okay. And the way that would work is you would need to go to the IRS and get what's called a subordination agreement. What that means in English, in simple English, is that our mortgage will take precedence over their lien. So they can't take the house and wipe out our mortgage. A subordination agreement means that they have a lien on the property. So if it ever gets sold, it has to be paid, but they will take second place behind us. The mortgage will come first. Not easy to get. I've seen it happen. And there's a whole nother issue that we didn't talk about, but we should. Actually, there's two issues we should talk about, but we didn't. That first additional issue is, what about state of Maryland? Okay. If you owe money to the state of Maryland, you can also set up a payment agreement with them and avoid a garnishment and everything else. By the way, I'm going to go back for a second, Eddie. The IRS, if you owe them money, they can actually take your tax refund. I don't know if people know that. They actually can take your tax refund. If you've defaulted on a federal school loan, they can actually take your tax refund. And sometimes the state will do the same thing. So if you have money you owe to the state of Maryland, fine. We need to see you have an agreement. We need to see that you made some of the payments, and those payments will be counted as a debt against you. So now the final issue. Let's say you don't owe any taxes to the state, you don't owe any taxes to the federal government, and you get a big fat refund check. You know, Eddie, this is the time of year where you see people walking around with a stupid smile on their face, right?
Mhm.
Next week, we're going to tell you why you need to wipe that smile off your face. Because if you're getting a tax refund, you want to pay attention next week. And Eddie and I are going to share with you why that's such a terrible idea and what you should be doing instead.
Sounds like a great way to end today's show. We went over whenever the IRS, if you owe them, how we can still get you into a home. Don't forget about the home funded link. It works like a GoFundMe page. You go in there, put in your information, your friends, your family, your enemies. The IRS can put money in there. Not really that they definitely won't. But it goes towards the purchase of your home, and we give you $2,000 towards it as well. So click that link below. Drop in the comments if you have any other questions, anything that you want us to answer. I think that this topic is going to help out a lot of folks, though, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. How they reach you, Eddie?
Oh, dang. 410-588-6536. So how about you?
443-471-8557. Hey, if you like this tip, subscribe and hit the like button, and feel free to share it with anybody you know that has tax problems. Have a wonderful day.